chosen by destiny.
But in the end,
There can be only one.
Welcome. 3 indie comic campaigns enter, 1 campaign leaves. That's right. It's time once again. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's happening? Oh, Jesus.
You okay over there?
Yes, I had a little feedback going on. I don't know if you guys heard it, but it was right in my face. It was loud. But back to what I was saying. Welcome to the Comic Book Showdown of Ultimate Destiny, everybody. How's everybody doing? Let's get Smurf in here. Sorry, it's been a morning. I had everything set, and then someone was knocking on the door right as we were about to start and threw me off. I hate that. I have to have so many things like kind of in certain orders in my mind. I need to hit this button and then this button and then this button. Like I need to say this. And it takes all of my focus. And then all of a sudden somebody knocks on the door and I'm like, ah, but that's the way showbiz it goes. Right.
That's right. All about the hurry up and wait. Wait.
But we're back after a week hiatus. How are you doing, Smurf?
I'm ready to rock, sir. Rock your face off.
Ready to rock your face off.
It's a full weekend. IACon is this weekend, which is the Native American con put on by Christina and Raphael Badhand, and I believe it is free to attend. A lot of creatives and some very fun indigenous artists are going to be there, so I'll be making an appearance down there. And then there's also a free trunk or treat at Northfield on Sunday from 10 to 1. The Colorado Ghostbusters will be there handing out candy, photo ops, and all of that. So it's already like a full weekend. And I got a pool tournament and just so many ands.
And next week,
baby, this is the big one. I'm going to go hang out with our buddy Dirk at New York Comic Con. Actually, Dirk's not the only one that's going to be there. Jorge's going to be there. Jorge Corona, who's one of the locals. J. Scott Campbell is also going to be there. Hasbro has some huge releases. There's a couple of unique Alley Rat with the glow effect. That's a Comic-Con exclusive. Gonna go get me some of that. And wait in a huge ass line for Sigourney Weaver's signature. Yay!
Nice, yes. Yeah, you wonder, like, I mean, so are you working this show or just getting to go? Like,
column A, column B. I mean, it's kind of like a work in progress. 5280 Geek will be there, of course, to cover. Sigourney Weaver, I've never seen her sign. Her price tag, get this, for a signature is $260. So I'm on the hook for
Huh? I don't think it's her alone that's setting those prices. Probably some agents that are like, hey, the prices are increasing. We got to do that. But
when your comparison, okay. So Annie Potts is also going to be there. Okay. Also very non-con attending appearance kind of person. She's only charging $60. So Annie Potts, $60, which I have to get as well for the Ghostbuster, because I have this Ghostbusters custom guitar from Wolfmeyer Guitars, and it's this great Ghostbusters guitar inspired, and all of the Ghostbusters have signed it, with the exception of Murray, Annie Potts, and Sigourney Weaver. So I'm about to knock out 2 big ones in one weekend. So that's huge, because I don't know how I'm ever going to get Bill Murray. That's that man's elusive, sneaky.
Yes.
But Sigourney being there and having all of the Colonial Marines at COFO, I got all their signatures. So now I have to get her signature on the alien picture with all the Marines. So I'm in for at least $500 in 2 signatures.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the fact that you can get in there and get that while she's there. I mean, one of the challenges that I always face when I do these shows is a lot of times I'm working my table, and like I can sometimes have someone watch the table, but like to
Right.
say I'm gonna go stand in line and get Sigourney Weaver's signature means I'll see you this afternoon. I'm gonna be gone for a couple hours, you know.
All day. All day.
Yeah,
Well, and then, I
potentially.
mean, thankfully, Brenda and Angel are going to be with Anthony and I. So they're going to go off and do all of the other stuff while Anthony and I wait in line for Sigourney Weaver. So I may not even be able to see Hasbro's booth. I'm sending somebody to get me the exclusives, but I don't have a table. I'm not anchored. So the one of the advantages of 5280 is that I get to run around and be press and promote the con and make pictures and make nice with the fans. So. And I'll talk about our comic showdown of Ultimate Destiny right here. Everybody,
Nice.
we're world famous. I get identified in parks.
Wait, how did that go? You're like, you're on that show with Matt.
You're on that show. I know you. To be honest, that's not the first time I've had that approach done to me, so it's kind of like, yeah, that's me. It's even better when I'm with someone and they just throw their arms up in the air and they just keep walking like, oh, can't take you anywhere. And they just keep walking like, this will take a while. I'm like Henry Winkler. If you identify me, I will take pictures. I will talk to you. I will make you. I appreciate my fans. I appreciate all of you out there. All of you guys in the Geekverse. I appreciate you all. I also will probably make fun of you, but that's beside the point.
All right, welcome. We got a lot of people in the chat. Let's see. We've got Jonathan Medici who's saying good morning, everyone. Yes, we are having a great week. This has been a busy week. It is spooky season, and from like now until probably January, there's things going on almost every weekend. So Mr. Fish says, ain't nobody I'd stand in line for a signature. Not even SMURF or Mr. Matt Campbell.
Come on.
Come on. Benjamin says, I almost stood in line for Steve from Blue's Clues.
Actually, I have stood in line for Steve in Emerald City. He's such a nice guy. He's a big lover of fans. He like hugs people. He like broke down in tears because this woman gave him this heartbreaking story, and they like started crying together. I was like, oh, Steve.
So I want to give a shout out to an event that's going on this month. Most of you that are artists are familiar with Inktober. It's a thing that's been going on for years and years now. But the indie comics community is doing something a little bit unique. It's been going on for only a few years now. I believe Travis sort of spearheads this, but it's called Indietober, and everybody submitted their indie comic campaigns to him either on the Discord channel or on the Indietober Facebook group. And then they were selected and randomized. And so each day we've got, there's a list there you can check out. Each day we've got an indie comic to do art from. And everyone kind of posts up their reference material if you need it. There's been images, and then they post their sketches. So I'm going to show a couple of the ones that I've done. The first one was from a comic called Loogie, which I think we've seen on this show before. And so this was my sketch for Loogie. And so I have these originals here too. And then the second one was a comic called Snowpaw. And Snowpaw is kind of an anthropomorphic type of thing, which isn't generally one I do a lot of, but there was a non-transformed version of the girl, and then like the totally wolfed out version. And so I went with the regular version of her here. And so today I'm working on another character sketch that's still in the pencil stage. I believe this character is up from Upheaval. So here is the sketch for all those that are watching. And so later on today, if I get a chance, I'm going to try to ink that one. It's going to be busy though. It's going to be tight. So there's a lot going on. Let's see. Alice made it into Indietober. That's right. And thanks for reminding me. Mythica also made it onto Indietober. Will be featured on day 11. So that'll be cool to see all the comic artists that are going to do versions of my characters. Every once in a while, we're also getting writers that are submitting the sketches for this Indietober thing, which is pretty fun. Mr. Fish says, gorgeous stuff. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. John West.
See, now he'll wait in line for your signature. Now he'll wait in line. He likes your stuff. Now Mr. Fish will wait in line for you.
Perhaps. maybe still not enough. All right, so that brings us to the point of this show, the Comic Book Showdown of Ultimate Destiny. In this show, we're going to try to help you get more backers. The Out of Touch one says, what did you miss? Man, you missed all the up and comings, all of the things. Let's see. So we have got quite the list today. Let's see. Let me add. Why isn't your... There we go.
That is a plethora.
Yes, there is a plethora of entries on the Wheel of Destiny this week. There's a lot of campaigns going on. And I asked this question this morning on Discord. I'm going to ask everyone that's watching today. And if you see this video later, go ahead and leave your answer in the comment section below. My question of the day is about late pledges on Kickstarter. So your campaign is ended. It says at the top, this campaign was fully funded, but you can still pledge and still order your comic. So my question is, to anyone that's done that, like, how successful actually is that? Are you actually bringing in more backers from that? Because my thought on this, and I think Mr. Fish and I had this conversation, is that to me, when I see a campaign that's like, says, oh, it's over, but you can still back, it kind of, in my opinion, takes away the urgency and the, get this now while you still can kind of feeling, if you can just go and get it anytime, if it's just sitting there forever. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it's worth it? Do you think it's helpful? If you've done it before and you see that there's still people backing, then maybe my opinion is wrong. I'm willing to admit that.
I mean, it seems kind of like self-sabotaging, but I mean, two sides of the coin. The urgency is important, but you also don't want to leave money on the table. If somebody wants to donate, then that's great. But I think in those instances, and probably the best choice would be a Patreon, the buy me a cup of coffee or donate to my world domination fund, or, whatever you want to call it. But I don't know. I also want to make the fans that back me feel special, because they believe in me enough to be on the front and be out there, not show up afterwards. Like I'm wearing the band T-shirt before anybody knew who the band was. That kind of ground is what I want. And I think it's only fair and justified to those people that are there at the ground floor. They were there at the beginning, and I think that they have their own special niche, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, we got some comments coming in. It said, Mr. Fish says, I've made an extra $100 so far without even trying. I made $160 last time. And John Westhoff says, I use late pledges. I get 1 to 4 backers within post 48 hours, but that's about it. All right. So, okay. I guess the real comparison, I'd have to create sort of a matrix for this of some kind, but is to see if you're losing backers because they don't see it's urgent when they see that, if they like start to back off over time, after campaign. Here's an interesting thing I didn't realize. It says it does cost more to back later, so there's still a bit of exclusivity. Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. But my thing would be like, okay, if you're backing in while we're live, then you can get this, and only people who back live can get this. if you back late, then this is what you have to choose from. Like the standard cover that we send out to the comic book shops. That's what you can get, or something like that. But like the one that everyone jumped on board with, or the early birds or whatever, they're not available anymore. And you missed out, that way there's a little bit of urgency, but that's good to know. I appreciate that feedback, Mr. Fish, and to you, John Westoff. And like I said, if you guys have any other experience with that, feel free to comment down below later on. All right, let's find out who's on this enormous list for the Comic Book Showdown. We've got Ice and Bone, 1 through 3, the Cannon of Vangel, Icelander, and Plasma. Those seem like two kind of different genres meeting together.
Mix together, yeah.
But maybe it does. Maybe that's what makes it interesting.
The yin and yang.
The yin and yang, yeah. We've got one called Storage Horrors. Naked Kaiju Woman.
Oh,
Macabre Valley. Ultramax Volume 1 and 2. A comic called Old Devils. Choppin' Blades 1 and 2. Laugh Riot number 1. Here's another fun one. Undead Kung Fu Ghost Killer. Then a book called Los Ojos Volume 1. And lastly, The Routine 1 through 3. So that's our lineup. Who's it going to be this week? So we're going to start off like we did last week. We are going to spin for the first one and then check it out and then come back to the wheel. All right, here we go. Number 1 is going to be Undead Kung Fu Ghost Killer.
Oh, your Kung Fu no good. Your Kung Fu dead. Oh.
All right, let me pull that one up on the... You're right over there? All right, let's see.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
I'm just a mess today.
Just a mess today.
I'm already out of coffee. I lost my sunglasses last night at pool. The shower hose thing blew up on me. It's just a weird day.
Well, speaking of coffee, I went to go make coffee right before the show. We always have our coffee during the show, and then I stopped myself because I realized I'm still out of creamer. I gotta go to the store. I haven't had time. So here we are. Number 1, Undead Kung Fu Ghost Killer. Number 1, Halloween Comic Annual. The title says a splatter-tacular martial arts mayhem from the acclaimed creator of Tiger's Tail and art director of Kung Fu Magazine. Let's see. They have a goal of $1,700. They're at $1,455, so they're well on their way, but they still have 27 days to go. So sounds like to me they're going to hit it. It's already got a Project We Love tab, and this little tab down below, I don't think you guys can see this. So let me switch views here. Down below on the bottom left, fill me in, guys. What is this tab? It says Witch Starter. Is this some sort of new thematic thing like we were seeing on Backer Kit, where your campaign can fit into a particular project category for the month or something? It's called Witch Starter, so I feel like it probably is.
For the spooky season.
For the spooky season. Let me see what it says. Witch Starter is calling all creators enchanted by the mystical. Launch your project this October to join Witch Starter, or spotlight on creations inspired by magic, divination, and the supernatural. So yes, it is a thematic Kickstarter project. That's pretty cool. All right, which is kind of good because when you're in those things, they tend to share it more. And so we're probably going to see a lot of spooky themed comic series. Yeah, Mr. Fix, they have done things like that before. I'm trying to remember them, but I do recall something like that. And they also have like what is the one where they do like the 100? It's like 100, I forget what it's called, but basically like you can either have 100 pledges or 100 rewards or something having to do with 100. All right, let's take a look. Undead Kung Fu Ghost Killer. It's a spectacular martial arts mayhem for the acclaimed creator of Tigers. So let's take a look at what the video tells us. This style is interesting.
I'm Patrick Lugo, author, illustrator, comic creator, and art director for Kung Fu Magazine. I'm coming back to Kickstarter with a new project that I'm really excited to present to you. It's called Undead Kung Fu Ghost Killer, and this will be the first traditional floppy comic that I will have created since the boom of the 90s. Can you believe it? I've been so focused on these large graphic novel projects like The Tiger's Tale Volumes 1 and 2, which I have right here. See these beautiful things? These things were made possible thanks to backers such as yourself. And I still have copies of these, which I'll include in this campaign. Now, Undead Kung Fu Ghost Killer takes place in the same world as A Tiger's Tale, but they're not really connected. You can read this comic completely on its own without having to know anything about my previous work. Think of it as Kung Fu Hustle meets Night of the Living Dead. Now, this project is complete with the exception of one scene, which I'm holding off on completing because I want you to have the option to be in that scene. And I'm excited to actually create a traditional comic with the goal of getting them into comic shops. Or if there's a specific kind of reward tier you would like, I can definitely custom craft something for you. I've done it before. Anyway, thanks for checking things out. I hope you find something fun and appealing. I trust you will too. Thanks.
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Oh, give us your thoughts, Smurf. We can see you're just brooding over there.
I mean, it was so close. He was right there, and then he just stopped. I mean, what? It was like the Jersey Turnpike. I just kept going, and all of a sudden took a sharp left. What the fuck? Come on!
Whoop.
Like, in love with this style. I mean, I was a little weird in the live action shit that was happening around. It was kind of fast paced, and okay, I get that. And whatever copyrighted movie that came out of it almost looked like Big Trouble in Little China or some bad kung fu film from the 80s, but it wasn't. Yeah, I don't know where the hell that came from, but I was fine. I was enticed. I was interested. And then you give me that little snippet that went nowhere. Just all right. Why?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I really don't know what the premise of this book is yet. I know a lot about him though. Here's
the line. Nobody cares. You're an amazing guy. Nobody could wear that bald head and that amazing beard that you have like you, but nobody cares. No, tell me about this. Tell me about this.
All right.
Oh.
Don't blow up your mic. Yeah. All right. So let's see. We got a story section here that might tell us something. It says, When all hell breaks loose, not even the mightiest warriors can withstand the undead hordes which have been released. But there is one among them whose whole life was spent training for this moment in his afterlife, the undead Kung Fu Ghost Killer. All right, fans of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, secret origin of Zong Q is a Chinese folklore deity traditionally regarded as vanquisher of ghosts and evil beings. He's typically depicted as a large man with a black beard, bulging eyes, and a wrathful expression. He's often seen garbed in red and surrounded by bats. So this is telling us the history of this lore character. Then we have what I guess is the sample pages. Well, wait a minute. This is here, secret origin of Zong, and then we have Undead Ghost Killers, and then it says,
Back to Tiger's Tail.
back to Tiger's Tail, and then we have comic pages. Right. So, what do you guys think so far? This is the style that it has. It's sort of this scratchy, rough. I think they're going for a particular style that fits this Chinese folklore. Maybe it's not resonating with me, but that's just my personal take. I'm not gonna dock this comic on not enjoying the art style. Mr. Fish says, I'm confused and lost. Next. Looks great, but what's happening? Yes. So I think you guys are hitting the nail on the head here. So how can this be improved? So we got a basic premise. You got a Kung Fu ghost killer, and you've got obviously some, like, I think they said zombie hordes or something. How could we present this in a way that tells what's missing here, you know?
Well, and I don't think anything's missing. I think it's a bit out of order because he's bouncing around all these different subject matters, like the background, the ghost killer, the tiger's tail. Tiger's tail should be all the way down at the bottom, or take it out altogether, or make it like, you know, in addition to one of the backing. I think that's part of it, but I think that's also his backstory. So that should be underneath the premise, the story. What are we getting? Get the pages. Get to the point. Get to the point.
Get to the point.
Get to the point.
So I do think there's a couple of things missing, to be honest. Like, okay, let's walk through the who, what, when, and why. Right? You have the who. There's a character here that it kills Undead, right? So where is this happening? Is it a small village? Is it the entire kingdom that's being attacked by hordes? Is it just this one little tiny village, right? And the reason that that's important is, one, where, you know, when is this taking place and where is it taking place? And two, like, is he going to be all alone, or is there going to be help? And three, like, what's at stake? Is he trying to save a village that's very personal to him, and it's his family and it's his loved ones? Is it just fighting, you know, for the entire country? Like, what happens if he should fail, right? And, you know, there is a sort of a what's the word I'm looking for? Implied thing that if you have zombies, well, then just everyone could die. You know, that's our whole premise, right? But, you know, they haven't even said that. I mean, basically, the only breakdown is, when all hell breaks loose, not even the mightiest warriors can withstand the undead hordes which have been released. If they've been released,
who released them? Is he traveling the countryside? Is he like the blue-eyed samurai? Is he on a mission? What is he, a Ronin? What does he want other than to stop these zombies? And what, you know, if he's, the other thing that I see a lot of times in comics is that you have, you know, villains, and there's sort of like in the movie industry, like the hordes of villains that they're just super easy to kill, and you just have this character walking around like slashing people with no real problem, and they're like,
I could do this all day. And like after a while, you're like, okay, well, what's the difficulty here? What's the conflict? The hordes of zombies are not much of a match for you, you know? So is there something that is going to give me the inclination that he may not succeed? If you want to set up a successful story, give me the idea that either side could potentially win here. Like Thanos in Avengers, that made a good story because not only could he win, but he did win. You know, they failed.
There was no coulda. He did.
Right?
He did.
So yeah, I mean, if you can set up your story in a way that says, this is, you know, what one character wants, and this is what the other character wants, and they both have the potential to succeed, then we're like, ooh, well, then who's going to win? You know? So I feel like there is quite a bit missing here. And let's take a quick glance over at the rewards and see what they got going on. We got a single comic card for $5. Not sure you want to submit to a whole comic? Have a comic card sent to you instead, measuring 8.5 by 5.5. So a single like postcard page of a comic. There are no backers for that one. They're like, why am I paying $5 for a single piece of cardstock? Then you get the digital edition of this book for $10. Seems a little high. I don't remember us hearing how many pages this book was. Let me see if I can find that. Which is another thing missing here. It's a very important thing to have in your thing here. What am I getting for my money? I see comic pages. I don't see anywhere that tells me how many pages this is. If it's in here, I'm not seeing it. So that's another. Wait. Over here in the reward section, it says it. The physical 24-page saddlestick issue of Ghost Killer #1, $13. Bagged and boarded. I do appreciate the bagged and boarded. I recently got a comic in the mail that wasn't bagged and boarded, and I was a little taken aback. Like, I'm so used to everything being bagged and boarded. I mean, it was in a Gemini mailer, but it wasn't bagged and boarded, so I thought that was a little strange. So let's see these comments here. Art is a bit too rough for me. I'm kind of with you on that one, Benjamin, but I'm not going to knock it just for that. Some of the art looks right, but I'm wondering if it's not traced photos. Could be. I mean, especially if they're in martial arts and they had much of Kung Fu magazines, they could probably reference that.
It's possible.
Let's see.
I think it's still within the style. Yes, we know killing off Iron Man was a big mistake. We get that.
Yes. Going back to the awards.
But that's the only way that story ends. It was Iron Man's journey, so he had to die. I predicted that years ago before it even happened, so it was preordained. But back to this. I think it kind of falls into the style that he's trying to capture. I mean, without knowing what Tiger's Tail is and what he's been doing for his Kung Fu magazine, I've seen, and I'm trying to remember where I've seen this kind of specific style before, but yeah. I do think it falls in line with, like you said, the tradition and this specific type of storytelling. Okay, I just don't remember where I've seen it.
Mr. Fish just hit the nail on the head. $13 for a physical copy. That's not too bad, especially if you also get the digital copy. But in this case, I don't think you do. It's just the physical. But $10 for a digital copy of a 24-page book is a lot. I don't think that I'd be comfortable with that. So I think that you could probably get a few more backers just by lowering the cost of your digital edition.
Your digital.
Because right now there's nobody's backing for the $5 single card. All right, you got a 0 on that. And by the way, when you have campaigns and the very first thing they're looking at is 0, that's probably gonna, hit some people of like, oh, this isn't going well, I guess I'm not gonna back it, and they haven't even seen everything yet.
You know what I would do in that instance? I would do a digital issue with the card for $5. That would be absolute, because the digital copy costs you nothing. That is just free, clear profit. So if you're going to be mailing out these cards, and I'm sure you've already got them printed, you can just simply just do a digital copy with the card and yeah. So the math doesn't math right in my mind. You're right. So I would absolutely digital copy $5 and you get the card. Combine them both, and that should streamline it.
Yeah, I feel like you could throw things in, like in the physical copy. Definitely throw in the digital with it. It gives it more value. Hey, cat, stop pushing. Let's see. Niobe says, and let me know what you guys think. Video games cost the same whether or not it's digital. Or what do you mean? Like going and buying the actual physical game versus downloading?
So if you go actually get the physical media.
Yeah, I get that. But the thing is, you're still playing everything on a digital platform. The thing about comics is that there are some people that just want to collect them digitally, and that's fine. And we should definitely offer that. But the other side of that, there's a lot of people like SMURF could tell you, having owned a comic book shop, that there's still a large amount of people who want the physical copies. And so that's why the, variant covers still do so well. But I think we could, we're always going to have digital as an option. I think it's a matter of like trying to charge the same for digital as you do for physical. Seems kind of high. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think when you're crossing mediums like that, video games are still interacting. You're still playing the video game. So when you're dealing with a digital platform and all of that for comics, it's a bit different because of the tacticity. I mean, you're cutting your costs in half. The video game and everything else is still the same costs, regardless of it being a physical copy or a digital copy, because you're still the designing and everything that goes into the video game. Usually the video game production of like the physical is most of the time like a write-off or it's a break even. Because they still get you on, downloading and additional costs that come later. So I understand what you're saying, but when you're dealing with comics, the majority of the cost of comics is the printing, is the shipping. So that's kind of where it goes. And if I like a digital version, I will go buy a physical copy. I mean, I absolutely will do that, especially with the Image and Marvel stuff that's out there. If I like the digital, I'm going to go buy a physical copy to throw in one of these boxes, never to be seen again, behind me.
Well, and I support digital comics. I support digital, digital downloads for games. I get it, and I'm fine with it. That's why I always have those on my campaign. What I'm suggesting is I don't think that we're at the point yet where you can say I'm going to charge $20 for a digital book. And if I make it physical, it's $20, still like the same price for both. I mean, I think some people might pay for it, but I think a large amount of people are not going to justify that. And like I have, 2 kids in my life that are teenagers who obviously, they're buying stuff. They're like, one of them just got, the new Hollow Knight game, digital download, and, but at the same time, the other one's buying $80, cubes, like I want to say Rubik's cubes, but they're better than that. They're like GAN, 12, GAN 13, like cubes for, solving, because he's still into the physical realm. Like he doesn't want a digital version of that. He wants the physical. He needs the physical. So like, there's always going to be those who want to read a physical book, want to read a physical comic. And yeah, there's a printing cost involved. And most people know that. So like most people are going to always be okay paying a few extra dollars for a physical copy. So that's my thoughts on that. But we'll see. I mean, right now, this campaign's not showing that the people are supporting that idea of having a $10 digital. So we'll see. So that's so many comments. Just go to the comment section. I can't keep posting them all. There's so many here. But let's get back to this. Let's see if he's got any big tiers here. Let me go down to the bottom. There's a lot of them. I'll give him that. So for $120, this is what he was mentioning in his video. You can be in the comic among the few backers for $120. You can be in that comic. And you also get the digital copy, the physical copy, and a postcard set as well as being in the comic. So I feel like that's always a good thing to have.
Is there a cap on that one, or is it so $120? Yeah,
there's only one. There's one of one. He set that aside.
Okay.
So.
I mean, I see a value there. That'd be kind of cool, and the fact that he's reserving it so he can finish it and all that. And no, I think that's a reason. I think that's very reasonable for that tier. So again, the math isn't mathing right though. So 120. Okay.
I mean. But in the end, that's what we got. That's what we got from this campaign. I feel like bottom line is this campaign is mostly suffering from not telling us anything about the campaign. Whether we can sit here and argue about what kind of rewards work, what kind of rewards don't, digital versus physical. That's really not the problem this campaign is suffering from. This campaign is suffering from not really telling me anything about what's going on in this comic.
Nope.
So that's what my advice would be is pitch.
Give us some information.
Yes. Teach better. All right, let's go back to the Wheel of Destiny and pick our number 2 campaign. I'm trying to fight off Kitty here. Oops, it wants me to reload it. So let me stop sharing and then reshare it. Didn't like when I changed it. There we go. Wheel of Destiny is returned. There we go. All right, let's see who's going to be number 2. Get down.
Oh, Choppin blades. See, very samurai focused week this week.
I mean, that's what it sounds like, doesn't it?
Right?
Choppin blades. All right, Choppin blades is number 2. Let me go over here and put that in here. If I can work around my cat.
Choppin broccoli.
There we go. Choppin blades 1 and 2. Let's switch over to that screen. Choppin blades number 1 and 2. A mystical demolition derby fantasy. All right, Demolition Derby, mysticism. We got something new and different here. All right, this says, slaps car roof. This baby here has a mystical demolition derbies with monster battles and 24-inch rims. There's some sort of English problem here. Having many demolition derbies would be a series of derbies, but generally
that's all the whole point of
in a derby.
Still
called a derby. Yes.
The plural of derby is derby. Derby.
Yep.
Roller derby. Okay.
All right, so
anyway,
I would
go on.
maybe fix that, but they're at a $500 goal. They've hit their goal of $982. So congratulations to them.
Well done.
They still have 12 days to go and 49 backers. All right. Let's see what the video tells us. We'll switch over to here.
Don't slow down. Don't slow down.
All right. So that didn't tell me anything. Sounded cool though. I was digging the music.
Let's dig in the
All right,
music. I'm
so
sure we're
keep
going
in
to get a
mind-
copyright infringement on that one, but yeah, it sounded great.
Maybe. All right, keep in mind this show is not about the comic, it's about the campaign. It's about how to pitch it, how to get more backers, how to get people to buy your comic when they don't know who you are, they haven't been following you. And so this comic is not telling us anything yet about the campaign. It's showing us a vibe, showing us that, you know, the groove of the music, but it doesn't really tell us anything, and that's what we're looking for. So moving on to the next part of this, into the story. Out of Touch says, what kind of trailer was that? Well, it was kind of like a musical thing. I'm not really sure what it was telling us, but it was giving us a groove. That's about it.
It felt like a WWE intro. You know, it really did. I was waiting for the flames to come out. I don't know. Anyway,
Maybe.
What's the story?
All right, Choppin Blades returns with issues 1 and 2. Choppin Blades #2 is a 20-plus page comic that is set on modern Earth, where a magical demolition derby called Hexalition I got to read this the way it's written. Set on a modern Earth where magical demolition derbies called Hexalition derbies are on top mainstream and underground sport. A young, talented derby driver and a sorcerer named Ryan hits the Third Coast city highways that are filled with dangerous, mythical creatures and other relentless drivers to steal a relic that could save his father's life. All right, I love that that last sentence there gives us some input about what the character is after and what's at stake. He's trying to save his father's life. This is important to pitching the comic. You have to have like some sort of what's at stake. It certainly helps anyway to say, hey, what's at stake? All right, so I'm gonna comment on Niobe and then leave it. Niobe, I don't have anything to prove to you. If you don't like my show, stop watching. Period. All right, moving on. Choppin Blade stars Ryan Bishop, a talented sorcerer and a Hexalition derby driver. Once nationally ranked and predicted to be an up-and-coming derby driver, Ryan unofficially retired from the sport due to personal reasons until now. He's now linked up with his old friend Jojo and newcomer Elosia to take back a stolen magical relic that belongs to Jojo. Ryan intends to take back the item by any means necessary. All right, so what do we know so far about this comic book series in these two things?
I like that we finally have answers, because the video didn't really give us much of anything, but I got like the sense of like brotherhood, you know, like they're in this together. I don't know if the people that we saw were family or the main characters or antagonists, protagonists, or part of it. And then you see, you know, an alien queen on a motorcycle. So I mean, there's a lot of questions, but I do like that they did sum it up quite neatly here. Of course, you have a lot of questions of how did he lose this artifact, and how did it end up there. So there are enough tidbits that I do want to know more. He's been retired. That's great. So that execution is perfect. I absolutely love that. It gives us some kind of character design is even better. They're focusing on the book. They're telling us what the story is, what the characters are, and that's great.
Adam says, wait, what item, what MacGuffin, who's helping? I got distracted by the South Park troll. Basically, these characters are looking for a relic. It just says a stolen magical relic that could save his father's life. So we don't know a whole lot about it, but we know that it could save his father's life. So that's his motivation. That's his why. And we know that this is a land filled with dangerous mythical creatures. So he's got to go through all this dangerous mythical stuff to try and save his father's life. That's a noble cause, a good driving force for a story. I like it. All right. Mm-hmm. So down below, we have a little character design work. We have if you're a fan of Speed Racer, Twisted Metal, Final Fantasy, car, basically all the different car genres, right? Cool looking cover we've got here. I dig that cover.
I do.
And then we've got another holochrome candy paint edition cover. That's fun sounding. So a couple of different cover. Then we have some preview pages. We see a big old dragon in the sky with looks like electricity. Dangerous indeed. We have a bike flying through the air. Some very action-packed, action-oriented looking artwork. Looks clean, looks good. Here we got him beating something up with a magical, looks like a hammer
Spear or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, artworks looks good. So honestly, like, I think you got everything here. I think, Damien, if you're listening, I would say if you could put some of this information up in the video, you might get and reach a few more people. But all in all, your content section looks strong. You have an overview right away that tells us what's going on, what's at stake, what we're after. And then you get into the preview pages and the covers, and you're doing that part really well. Let's get over to the reward section. We got digital Choppin Blades #2 for $8. And then we got the digital deluxe, which is the issue 2 PDF, behind the scenes concept art, a sneak peek into issue 3, and a link to the Choppin Blades issue 2 soundtrack playlist.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So if there is an actual playlist, I would recommend like crediting the artist. That way you could also maybe loop some if they're followed by other members of the band or people like that. Give them their due. I would even put that somewhere in the description of soundtrack by so and so. In I think that's a miss, but I would definitely loop them in.
Great. So then we've got the different covers. Again, $13, and it comes with the digital edition. So again, that's nice. Then we got cover B, also $13. The candy paint cover, limited edition, holochrome. I like how they spell out that it's limited edition. There's only 5 of them. That makes it super limited.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Let's see here. Mr. Fisher, that's giving some value for the $10 for sure. Yes.
Yeah, that's an absolute value add. Absolutely.
All right. Let's see. Then we got all 3 covers for $35 plus the digital deluxe rewards. That's another good deal there. So there's the rewards here are looking great as well. Choppin Blades shirt we've got for $65. That seems high unless there's more. Oh, you also get a PDF of Choppin Blades 1 and 2, a physical copy of issue 2, and Choppin Blades 2 heavyweight oversized t-shirts. So not just the shirt, the book, and the PDF. That's a good deal. You can be an executive producer for $150 and be a character in the book for that $150.
I always want to be drawn in.
Right. So, and then he had some early bird rewards. So, all in all, this is a pretty solid campaign. I feel like it's got a cool premise. It's got good looking art. I think the only thing that could be stronger is putting some information and some what's at stake in the video. Most people were like, "What's going on with that video?" Right?
And I mean, just a simple tagline. Trying to save his father's life, he's hunting a relic. I would keep it simple just to kind of coincide with what you've got going on as far as the video is concerned. But we don't know that, to be honest with you. And if it is an original song, then I would absolutely tag the band. Like I said, I think that's a big miss. The plural of derby is derby. I would change that as far as the spelling is concerned. But I mean, that's me nitpicking at this point because I really think this is a solid this is a very solid presentation. This is a very good package.
Great.
Well done.
All right, good job on that, Damien. All right, that brings us back to the Wheel of Destiny to choose our third and final entry for the week. Let's see if I can get it to work this time. Yes, it does. Hooray. Oh, no, it says your browser connection had lost. Too bad.
Too bad.
Right. So we'll do that again. Share screen. There we go. Wheel of Destiny. All right. Third and final entry for Wheel of Destiny this week is gonna be the last entry of the week was the routine. The routine. 1 and 3. All right. Last one we're going to look at this week. All right. Before we take a look at that one, let's take a moment to hear about our sponsor. Let's talk about fulfillment for a second. You've worked your butt off to get your comic made and crowdfund your book. Now you're faced with sorting, packing, labeling, shipping, and tracking potentially hundreds of backers. Fulfillment can make or break your indie comic campaign. It can be downright overwhelming, especially if you're a one-person operation. That's why we're excited to share that our new sponsor, Gemini Mailers, now offers full-service fulfillment designed specifically for independent comic creators. They're offering fulfillment starting at just $2.50 per order, including Gemini's premium mailers shipping at cost. No markup storage, no monthly minimums, so you can ship in waves if you want. They even have custom packaging options like shrink wrap, filler pads, and more. These guys get it because they've been mailing our comics for years. And now they've built a warehouse operation that's already helping creators like us fulfill campaigns smoothly. So if your next campaign feels like it's going to bury you in boxes, be sure to check out GeminiComicSupply.com. This isn't just shipping, it's peace of mind.
Yay.
We're back. Yay. All right. I also had to do a little maintenance in the comments section. So
I can hardly wait to hear this conversation.
Why, right? I don't mind people coming here and saying what they want to say and not liking the show. But if I can't even see anybody else's comments because you're flooding it with so many negative comments, then it's a problem.
Yep.
Right? I want to hear from
viable questions.
Right?
Ooh,
all
right.
This one also is saying, I can't. Why does it keep giving me this pop-up? Right now, you guys can see it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We're going to stick with it unless it becomes an issue. All right. The routine 1 through 3. Story about surviving the 9-to-5 grind from the perspective of henchmen. 27,55,3,000. From the perspective of henchmen. The 9-to-5.
You know what? I can appreciate that one. That one, as soon as you said the word henchman, it just gave me this visual in my head. Like, okay, that's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah. Let's see. Adam Chess says, what kind of cover is that? Well, it's a different kind of cover, and sometimes different is what gets people's attention. It is different. I'll give them that. They've got 4 days to go to hit their goal. They are at 2755 out of 3,000. So they are dangerously close to succeeding. It's always rough when you're so close and you're just like, I'm not sure if I'm going to make it. Let's see if we can help them get this going. All right. Let's take a look at this video. What your brother said. The routine. Well, that was fun. I feel like some of the reading was a little fast. So remember, like I said, when I am teaching my students in class on video editing, put up the text, read it out loud, and then add another like 30% time to make sure everybody can read it. But all in all, though, it was still kind of fun. I liked it. I know Smurf was laughing quite a bit too.
I thought that was absolutely brilliant. At first, I was like, I thought the audio was muted, like you were having technical issues, and then there's just no audio, and I'm like,
oh, you know what?
Okay, this is a choice, and it's a very well executed choice.
No. So earlier when I said, "Hey, I'm getting that signal from the video saying that this tab isn't showing," and I said, you were like, "Hey, this tab's showing just fine." So I think what happened was that it was showing, but it wasn't showing or wasn't playing the audio because there was audio. So
there was?
Okay.
Yeah.
And it made a big difference.
Yeah, there was it was absolutely silent on my end, and I'm just all like, okay, that's a choice.
So let's
I mean, it works really well for the video, though. I mean, that is a video that really doesn't need sound, evidently, because I was absolutely amused.
Yeah. Well, let's hear it with sound now. Can you hear it now?
Yes.
All right. Let's
okay. So with the music, it does add a whole new level to it, and it feels to me very Kevin Smith inspired, kind of Clerks.
Totally, I totally agree with you on that.
Totally can see that. That is a very clever, well put, well thought execution. That is well done. There's nothing I would change on that, because even if the problem is if you added a voiceover to it, I think it would take away from the impact of the video itself. I've got everything I need to know, and I'm in. I mean, I don't think I'd ever be a henchman.
The official voiceover artist for hire said this one does not need a voiceover.
Does not need a voiceover. I think it would absolutely take away from it if you added a voiceover to it.
Yep. All right, so far so good, John. You have a video that was intriguing and fun. Sets the tone. I loved all the jokes and the made up award stuff. That was fun. Again, setting the tone. I agree with you. Very Kevin Smith like.
Mm-hmm.
In the story section, again, I love that they're utilizing the jump points up on the left. It says, just another day in the 9-to-5 grind of henchmen. Join 3 working-class nobodies as they coast through the tedium and monotony that we're all forced to endure in the workplace, looking for fulfillment and purpose in the industry that offers few pathways to get there. They'll be lucky to get a pizza party and a 15-minute smoke break. Welcome to the super boring, everyday working world of henchmen as they go through just another day in the routine. And there's our full cover there. Very interesting, very different. In the bizarre suburban landscape of Mill City, a failed stage musician turned criminal mastermind employs a fleet of underachieving screw-ups and cast-offs in a campaign of hijinks and terror throughout the city. That man is named the Grand Jadu, and this is a story about his henchmen, the assistants. On the clock, Jadu's assistants whittle away the hours, robbing department stores and taking extended lunch breaks and doing their absolute best not to die at the hands of the many denizens of Mill City who would happily see them crushed to dust. Who will enjoy the routine? The routine is a character-driven action comedy that aims to satire at modern society's work culture, I can't speak, while simultaneously coming to terms with the fact that we have no choice but to live our lives within it. So this is a super-sized book with 38 pages of story, and then we've got some story pages down here at the preview section. Very is that who I think it is? That looks like Bebop.
Oh, it does. Yes, from TMNT.
Yes. Nice. Then we've got like some very interesting style there. And then we've got a piece of pinup art. And then we have some more information. So I think there's a lot of information down here. This catch up of like this one is called the story so far. And that kind of goes on a little bit. This is pretty far down, but I do understand that you put the current issue up above, letting us know what's going on in that issue first. I appreciate that. And then there's a bunch of information about the different rewards, the different variant covers. I love this, like holding
Ronald McDonald
hostage, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. That we got a custom lunch bag and your name in the book. Pledge to the Stolen Sandwich tier and get your very special piece of art, a portrait of one of the henchmen from the routine devouring your favorite sandwich, done in mixed media on actual greasy sandwich bag.
Nice. See, they're leaning into it. That's what I want to see. That is what I love to see, when you have a theme and you lean completely into it. It's perfect.
Yeah. It's fun. All right. There's sketch cards. There's physical copies of the book. There's lots of things. Let's take a look at the reward section before we go over time here. We've got the routine number 3 digital, $5 for 40 plus pages of free goodness. That's a great deal. I mean, $5 for 40 plus pages. Physical copy only $12. Get a first printing of routine number 3, and get a PDF copy of the book. That's a great deal. I think that's the best physical deal we've seen so far today. Then we've got number 3 variant, $13. Then we got a digital catch-up. Get every issue of the routine in PDF format, over 100 pages, for $13. That's another great deal. So the price point on these is really appealing to people who are trying to get into this for the first time.
That's perfect.
Then we've got the routine number 3, both variant covers for $23. Physical catch-up. Get the first printing of number 3, as well as issues 1 and 2 for $30. That's like $10 a book. You can get a sketch card, custom sketch card by the artist for $50. The big Burke tier for $69. You get a bunch of comics in this one. The routine number 1, number 2, number 3, plus their other comic series, the remainders number 1. They've got one here, $178 for the inks, actual page of art from the story, plus the book, plus the variants, plus digital copies. The original cover inks as well for $178. And Your Sandwich has been stolen, featured, get drawn in. There was only 3 of those, and they're all gone. So that's like what, like you were saying, going all in, and they were taken right away. So
just well, and it makes perfect sense. You're leaning in. You've got a theme. You've got the premise. Just lean into it, because we've seen other campaigns who kind of flirt with the idea, like they don't want to come off, I don't know, like they're not going to be taken seriously or anything else. You're creating a world, all right?
Mhm.
And why not expand on every possible aspect for the branding, for the marketing, for all of it, even when like movies do it. I mean, I go to horror screenings all of the time. One of the ones, it was tooth oriented. They handed out little pieces, dental floss containers that had the name of the film. Okay, so
That's fun.
and it directly, yeah, exactly. And in the marketing world, this is perfect. I dig this, and I agree. There aren't a lot of henchman comics. I mean, DC has probably had the most success with villain-based comics and stories, as they've explored the Rogues Gallery or Batman's villains and all of that. But there's never been a Rogues or a henchman's driven series, and I think this is clever as hell. These guys are on point. They've got it. They got the juice and sandwiches. Juice
and the greasy bags to put them in.
Yes.
Right on. That shows us our third and final entry to the Comic Book Showdown of this week. So now it's time to determine which one is going to be chosen. So put which one you think presented their story the best. It's not which one you like the most, which one you would back, but which one you feel like presented their comic the best in the comment section below. And then I'm going to put the one that I think and see if we end up having to go to the wheel this week or not. All right. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
All right. Drum roll. 1, 2, 3. The routine wins. Good job. Good job. Congratulations to, I didn't see that was John O'Burke for winning the routine. We're going to go back that one right now. And be sure and check out the other 2 campaigns that we saw today. Undead Kung Fu Killers and Choppin Blades. So in the end, this one, in my opinion, had all the parts. Had a great video. They had information. They had good rewards. I think they're doing well, and so we wish them the best. They've still got 4 days to go to hit their goal, so wish them the best.
I mean, go back. I mean, this is probably one of the most entertaining and original indie comics I've seen. So, and the art. I mean, I didn't even get to the art. The art is absolutely on point. These guys have it, and I love the contradictions of like the characters and everything else, and the contrasts, and that no one is drawn the same. So the artist style in this, and I don't know if it's just one artist or multiple artists working together on this, but I mean, it is well done. It is very, very. This is again, best compliment. I'd pick this up off the shelf.
I'd pick this
There
up.
you go. I'd pick this up off the shelf.
Colorful too. It would stand out. You don't really see a lot of bright pink covers on the comic book shelves. So
Not really.
All right. Well, that's it for today. Be sure and check out my comic series Mythica at actionlinestudios.com. You can find the show and sign up for this show on Facebook at Action Line Studios. And Smurf, where can they find you and see us out?
You can go to 5280geek.com, and that is our website. You can also go to our Facebook page, which is 5280geek, and our Instagram, 5280geek. We also have a podcast on all major podcasting platforms, and our YouTube channel, which is premiering a lot of the interviews I did from the Colorado Festival of Horror. This week, all of the Colonial Marines are up for the interview that I did with them. It is also available on audio for all of those platforms if you don't want to sit and watch a YouTube channel. So there you go. Come see us at wherever our next appearance is going to be, because I know Matt's not going to be at IACON, but you never know. He's out in the wild. You may catch him walking in a park.
You never know.
You never know. You never know. And on that bombshell, we shall say goodbye. In the meantime, run fast, laugh hard, and always be kind. Good night.